broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Got a little upbeat part.
I know, the song is really good. We love this at the end of the episode.
Yeah, absolutely. This is Together by Ella Eyre, which we really enjoyed tonight. On tonight's episode of AFTERBUZZ TV Mob Wives, we are covering Cuts Both Ways. This is the season finale of Mob Wives, and tonight our episode, of course, is in tribute to Big Ange, who was laid to rest this Monday at age 55. So my name is Nicole Brajer. Please hashtag ABTV Mob Wives to join the conversation, as we will be touching a lot tonight on Big Ange. And then, of course, I've got my awesome co-host here. Introduce yourselves.
Yes, absolutely. I'm Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media, and I'm very happy tonight and proud to be sporting my Big Ange.
Yes.
Fuck Cancer t-shirt.
Hell yeah, we said it last
That's
week.
right.
Too.
Tonight is a huge tribute to her.
We did, Howard.
Hi everyone, I'm Paulina Aguilar, and you can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar.
Hey everybody, it's Howard III. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook at Howard III.
And we will be following you guys in the conversation on YouTube tonight. So if you have any questions or comments, please share with us. We know everybody would like to say a little bit of something, you know, about Big Ange tonight, following tonight's episode. So you guys, what do we think? You know, do we think this was way too soon? Do we expect it, being that Ange has shared her entire story with us this whole season? I mean, were you guys shocked by the news?
Completely shocked. I mean, this was shocking. This was devastating. I just feel so, like, personally affected by her passing and everything. She's been a fan favorite. Everybody's loved her since the first day that she ever showed her face. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's so soon. Like, I feel like she just got diagnosed with any sort of cancer. I feel like it's been less than a year, and I don't think anybody was expecting this. Definitely last week, our episode, we were hearing rumors of something, of her passing, and for it to be true the following day was just devastating.
It was just hours, too, after our show, being that our show is 3 hours behind. So for us to find, I was still awake. You know, I was still awake when we found the news, like just getting home, rather, from AfterBuzz TV. So I mean, we were here kind of like in the moment when the news was breaking, Howard and I. I mean, just to be involved. I mean, Howard, we were kind of like, we were stunned. It was hard.
Yeah, it was definitely hard. It was like, it felt like a little mini family, because me and you, Nicole, and then it was our, you know, our followers online, and we were all just kind of just sitting and just like breathing this moment.
Yeah.
It was like literally a moment in pop culture. That's what it feels like to me.
Absolutely. And the fact that we couldn't really believe the media outlets or not, that made it even harder for people to be like, no, she's not. Yes, she is. I mean, tragic.
Yeah.
Completely tragic.
I think what's more shocking as a viewer, at least, you know, we watch the show and we see her find out these news and going through these tests and then getting this surgery, that we forget that this was also filmed back in October, you know, and, you know, things have obviously progressed.
Definitely. I know. And then watching this, you know, precisely, I mean, it makes it feel like this is real time. And it's almost like, but no, she's just finding it out. She's just, you know, she's fixing it. She's on it. She's going to get better. And it's really hard to have news like that in the middle of a season where viewers are watching her life and enjoying her and her moments and feeling her pain and going through life with her. And then to get news is just really, I mean, this is definitely a first, having something so drastic happen, you know, season-wise and then just person-wise for big fans of hers.
Too soon for me. I mean, even though they were still shooting this particular season back in the fall, I mean, the fall wasn't that long ago. And the fact that she had to undergo 2 surgeries in like a year?
Yeah,
so, I mean,
less than a year, I think.
That's too much on a person. And being that she is so strong, I think everyone did believe that she would outcome this in a positive way. But I mean, either way, I feel that she's at peace being that she does leave behind 6 grandchildren plus her 2 kids, and everybody was there at her bedside before she passed. And I feel that must have been comforting for her to know that they're gonna be okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think one thing that's notable is this episode specifically was really heavy on Ange and her doctor's visits and kind of what was going on. And this episode was particularly heartbreaking. I mean, news aside, just watching her go through everything, and she was just having such a hard time coming to terms with what was happening, and she made so many references to being scared and being scared of dying, and that was just so painful. So painful
I
to
teared
watch.
up when she started talking about her kids.
Oh, completely.
Not gonna lie. And
Completely.
And they know how being the glue of her family. It's sad.
Yeah, I think we all felt very emotional tonight. We don't have like the biggest smiles on our faces. It's hard to be upbeat about this topic because we've been tuning into this show since day one.
It's a somber episode. It's going to be a somber after show. We loved Big Ange. Everyone did. We love Mob Wives, and she was a big part of it. And so this is we said this while we were watching the episode. This is going to be a very hard after show for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We could kind of, I guess, touch on Big Ange's weekend and her funeral, and over 200 people attending her funeral in Brooklyn, where she grew up. That was her hometown in New York. I mean, must have been, I mean, I wish I could have been there. You know what I mean? But I'm not surprised by the outcome of people. You know, and it must have been hard for people to not even be able to go. Like, do we want to talk about the wives and Brittany not being able to go and the rumors of Karen? I mean, were you guys surprised by this, or did you think that, well, there's got to be like a few of them that shouldn't go, being that they do cause a little bit of drama?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I think this is a major enough situation that everybody would have put their differences aside. Big Ange touched everyone she met, and even if these ladies had things going on with the other women or even Ange, which I couldn't believe, I think they would put it aside. I mean, everybody wanted to pay their respects. Everyone wanted to show their love, and I feel like it would have been nice to welcome everyone. I think it would have been positive.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's such a moment to just be like, okay, you know, we might not be getting along. Let's just, you know, put on a great face and do this for Big Ange. It also sucks if those rumors are true that nobody, you know, that certain people weren't allowed to come, because everybody should be invited. I mean, Big Ange touched everybody. So some way and another, people shouldn't have been allowed to be there, you know, whether it be outside, whether it be inside, they should have been allowed to be there.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, because I don't know, certain people weren't invited or certain people chose not to show up.
Certain
From what we
people
understand, weren't
so
invited.
Weren't invited. Even though Karen was at the funeral, there was pictures of Karen there. Karen and Carla also did a special on E! Answering questions about Big Ange. So the Karen thing wasn't so much, but Brittany did tell us weekly that she was not welcome at the funeral. Which kind of makes sense after watching this episode.
Exactly.
And you know what? I feel like something like that, you can't really take personal. You gotta just respect it.
Oh, for sure. And I think they did. Like, I think the ladies,
and that's it.
the ladies totally took it in stride, and that was good. You know, just kind of proving the fact that for this scenario, they're setting everything aside.
Oh, of course.
If they were,
you have to be real evil to not, because that drama is all bullshit. And for the show, let's be real. I mean, come on. Real life.
I know, and this puts everything into perspective.
Doesn't it kind of like make you upset and kind of angry though that Brittany still went to Us Weekly and kind of said her story, you know, for whatever she got for that? It kind of made, I'm starting to not be Team Brittany anymore.
Unless a reporter just kept on knocking on her door.
Yeah, well,
yeah, whatever the case may be, I think her words were fairly neutral. She didn't seem to attack anybody. She didn't seem to really
overstep her boundaries.
Precisely. Yep, exactly. Yeah, she really didn't overstep anything. She kind of just let everyone know the situation, because I'm sure people would ask, well, why weren't you there?
She gave him a quote, and the quote says, I think that it's unfortunate that I couldn't be at any of Ange's services this weekend, and that I couldn't say bye to her in that way. The last thing I would want is to go out there and cause a scene. Yeah. This is about celebrating Ange's life and the fact that her family has to say bye to such a beautiful person. I want to respect that. So I respect that.
It's probably the smartest thing I've ever heard.
Totally, yeah. And if she needed to give a statement, that was a great one to give. It just kind of settled everything.
Well, it says the reason why is because of something her father did. So I guess maybe there was attendees at the funeral
That know
That's
of
right.
their
would rather
family.
her not be there. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, well, and that was always the interesting thing about Ange too, is even if everybody else around her really took issue with the fact that other people's family had done things or they were rats or
Right.
whatever, she just wanted to squash it, and she just said, "Look, whatever your family did, that's
between them.
That's between them, and I'm trying to be friends with everyone. I don't have an issue with everyone, and I welcome everyone equally." And that's why everyone loved her so much.
That's
and
what
why
the
they were
show
touched
needed.
by
That's
her.
what these personalities
Yes.
on this show needed.
A nice, neutral, loving voice of reason.
Yes, and
She is
you know,
the voice
like
of reason.
I'm kind of glad that this is the series finale because
Yes.
if they would have continued another season, it would not be the same.
No,
Yeah,
not without
exactly.
Big Ange. So is it almost like a coincidence or the way
I think
that
it
the
just
stars
worked
align?
out. Yeah, it
you
worked
know?
out for the best.
And I don't know
Yeah.
if even news of Big Ange's cancer was reason enough to say, well, this should be the final season too. But I remember last season it was kind of like a 50-50.
Yeah.
There would be
Yeah.
one more. So, I mean, she went out with a bang, I think.
She did. She truly did. And at least we got to see as viewers sort of what she was going through, and that was really brave of her too. I mean,
I wanted to make that point.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I mean,
where I
just-
started to tear up tonight. And
Completely.
them, like, even just driving in the car with them to the hospital,
Yes.
I felt like I was in the back seat.
Yeah, and getting a front row, view to just this awful situation. I mean, and just imagine yourself, if you're going through this, are you really trying to put it on TV and show everyone? I mean, that is a very hard decision. And for her to say, yeah, I love my fans, she called her fans her babies.
Yeah.
And truly, she loved everyone. So to say, like, yes, I want to share my information with everyone, I'm sure it helped so many people going through current cancer battles.
Absolutely.
So empowering to see Big Ange tackle it and just, still embracing life even till the very end.
Right. And I think as viewers, not just us, the fans out there have some connection. They know someone who has passed of cancer, or they've had cancer themselves. And
Yes.
I think I don't know if you guys have ever been touched on that.
Yeah.
By somebody. So
Certainly, and even this year, I mean, 2016 has been a very interesting year. We've had a lot of celebrities, in addition to Ange, pass
Yeah.
of cancer.
Absolutely.
So, that's sort of the awful theme of this year starting out, which is terrible, but it's really bringing awareness. It's like cancer truly is something that knows no bounds. No matter your social class, the money you make, your color, your
Right.
race, your gender, like nothing, it can affect everybody. It's just terrible.
It was sad to see how it affected her mentally in regards to even Neil, because as we saw, I would say as a viewer, Neil was supportive.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the most part. I mean, Bill's huge deal, but he made a valid point in this episode saying, what's more important, money or your health? And she was just like, you're right. I feel if anything, like even though the media and there was like a big thing on Neil kind of being her estranged husband and her kicking him to the curb, I feel like it wasn't about the money. I feel like it was more of an internal struggle dealing with all of this, and he easily could be the target to kind of use as the punching bag.
Oh, definitely. It's interesting. Last episode, I was like, "There's no way." Like she was taking it out on him, and it's just if I were going through that, just
And he let
got
her.
throat surgery, canceled all that stuff, and then I have 2 more. What?
Yeah.
Best believe I'd be flying off the handle.
Right.
Yeah, and you hurt the ones closest to you.
Yep.
He was the closest to her, so
Yeah.
he got the most of it.
And he was with her to the end despite everything by her
I think
side.
he knew.
And he did send out a tweet, which I thought was very sweet. And he said, "I will always love you forever. Please watch over our grandkids." Go away. I'm sorry. I know you will. So I think that was really sweet. And I feel like if anything, she could be the best guardian angel for her ginormous family,
Yes.
Definitely. I know me and Nicole talked about this last week, how we just said Big Ange was stressed. That's why she took it out on Neil. She was just under a lot of stress. I mean, it's cancer, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that towards the end of the, her final days, I believe they reconnected and, just brought them closer.
I'm sure she even almost felt sorry about maybe putting the Bills part out there so much.
Yeah.
Because it really kind of went far and wide in news, kind of like highlighting, like making him look kind of bad. I don't. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But like, if you're not a viewer and you don't watch the show, then you're not gonna know that in actuality he was pretty much there for the long haul.
He was a good guy. He's a good man. Mm-hmm. He's a good man.
Someone on YouTube asked if Neil and Big Ange have had kids before, and the answer is no. They never had any children together. She was pretty much a single mother her whole life. We never really heard about the baby daddy of her children. I don't know if you guys have ever read up on him.
Yeah, a lot of detail there.
Well, we can as we continue talking.
Yes, absolutely. Well, one good thing that maybe we could sort of transition to just for a moment is that, you know, even though we are all very sad, Ange was bigger than life and loved life and wanted every day to be a party and to live life to the fullest. So that was really nice seeing in tonight's episode. They highlighted her friends coming together, trying to lift her spirits. They went and did their nude model art.
That made me so like.
She was adorable.
It's hard for me to always express my emotion when I'm watching any TV show, reality or like a regular series, because the emotions are going on in my head and I'm engaged in what I'm watching. But I had actual reactions from this episode of Mob Wives. I laughed with Big Ange. I cried with her. Like, everything was focused on Angela tonight, but she actually put those. I wasn't just like those reactions at me. So I don't know. I'm so happy that I get, and we all get to share like these last moments and these highlights of life with her. You know, it made me happy to see that.
Completely. And really just, surely her situation allowed her to put so many things into perspective, and she knew she was sick, and she knew things were sort of coming into clarity of what to really cherish. And I loved that she was letting her emotions just go, just however she wanted to have fun, whatever she wanted to do, she was doing it. Everyone was loving it. It was really great. It was really, really nice, juxtaposed against the really heavy moments. It was really nice to see her have some fun and be the lively Ange that we all know. That was good.
I love that moment. It was just, it was like, finally, Big Ange is just having fun, like just kicking back.
Yes.
Being crazy.
I know, and it was a good sort of cap off to the episode. Also, how our episodes are recorded is that we saw a little bit of like her show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we ended the episode and then we saw like a total, highlight of Big Ange via VH1, highlighting her like at her prime, just living it up. And that's great. That's the memory that everyone will have of her for sure.
Yeah. There was a video, I think, that somebody put together of her dancing to Beyonce. I want to say it was her family, and Quinita on YouTube says she loved it. It was for Drunken Love. I have to watch it. I want to pull it up. I want to see it because I didn't get a chance to tune into that. But I feel like any montage we're going to see of her in these episodes or like anything that comes up on our news feeds, it'll always like make you smile, and I think it's like not every mob wife puts this much joy in us, you know what I mean, as viewers. There's always there's always something about someone, we have an opinion, but it's always with Angela, I feel like the majority is in love with her. Whether you're a fan or you just met her for the first time, she was always willing to take a picture. She never said no to that. And I feel like that's what makes her, they call her the mama bear of of the whole crew.
Yes. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Yeah, and I feel like there was never a bad moment with Ange, like even drama-wise or whatever. I mean, she truly was the glue that held everyone together, and any drama that was going on just like never involved her, right? I don't think there was ever anything.
We could totally validate that she would stir a pot, like, and throw out something a little bit and be like, well, this is what this person said about you. And that was it, Yeah. She's so cute with it, though. She never makes you, like, mad about it.
No, like, you could never be mad at her.
She says. Yeah, that's my favorite thing about she goes, she does her shirt forever. Together. Yeah. It's always the art. Like, she ends it the way.
She's so cute.
Aww. She was making me laugh so much with the artwork of the naked guy. I loved it. What did she call the penis? She called it
the peachy.
the peachy. I loved it. A peachy. So what do we think,
really
going
great.
off the art stuff for a little, about Karen's reveal about her father's, art skills? I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was really unexpected. In a great way. Like, any type of artistic inclination like that off of somebody you would never expect is amazing. I mean, his work was really, really good.
It was good. It was really good, but what makes it stick out even more is that he did that artwork in prison, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Just
I think
with the pencil,
art,
right?
Yeah, and I think
Charcoal.
the art, what is it called? Display that we're going to see next week. The
gallery.
The gallery. Sorry, I've never
gallery
been to
event.
an art gallery. I'm not very arty. I thought that was awesome. I feel like some haters would probably be like, not deserved, her father, the rat, this or that. But I think that's badass. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I loved it. It was so amazing to see the detail he put into it. I've never really seen art like that, and I was just like, wow, like it looks so like real life, I thought it was just amazing.
I love the one of his granddaughter.
Oh,
That one I liked, but I think that when you have that much time on your hands, you discover a lot of things about yourself.
yeah, because wasn't it like 7 years in the hole?
7 years, yeah. My mom locked me in my room for like 3 hours, and I'm like, get me out of here. Like, that wasn't long enough, not at all.
That's great.
Oh my God, go crazy.
Totally. Yeah, 7 years. That's a whole nother situation. Yeah, but I think she even said that he started taking up drawing after the 7 years.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So my God, 7 years of straight up nothing. That's tough. That's very tough. But I mean, drawing like that is not something you learn. Like, that is a skill you are gifted with, truly. I mean, so for him to sort of like discover it and have such great pieces is
I'm telling
very
you, jail
interesting.
really changes people. It makes them a whole nother person when they come out, for the most part. And
We should do that experiment. And
Yeah,
go to the Twin
right? I'm
Towers
hoping for the most
and
part.
see what we can find out.
Then I wanted to quickly touch on Renee, her dance class. I love
Yes.
Renee. I love that she tries. She doesn't quit, and I feel like this productive, hobby thing that AJ suggested for her couldn't have been more perfect. What do you guys think?
Yeah, she looked like a little miniature, dancer. I could see her doing a few more classes and getting a lot better to it, but I was like, I'm happy for Renee. She does need a really good hobby. I think she needs a few hobbies, just stay out of AJ's hair, but I applaud you on dancing. So
Yeah, she was doing great. And she looked like she was having so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, she was just really, really enjoying it. I really enjoyed her dance instructor, Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like her
He was-
therapist.
oh my God.
I noticed that this is therapeutic for her. I felt it. I saw it. So I think it's important for her, even especially because she did express to us that she kind of fell off the bandwagon again. That it's important for her to be doing things like this, dance and art, whatever. It made me think, wow, I need to do more things like this and be more productive with my life.
No, Renee's living the life over there.
Yeah. I love Renee, I really do. And she shared a lot of beautiful things about Big Angie's passing and stuff. I thought it was quite strange that it wasn't Renee and Karen doing this special. I don't know if you guys saw it quickly on your TVs. After Angela's passing, it was just kind of a long interview going through a couple of different commercial breaks. But I don't know. I picture Renee and Karen being closer to Big Ange over Carla.
or Karen and Drita. I see
Yeah,
them.
but Drita wasn't really photographed
closer,
too much with Big Ange's funeral. And on the
Yeah, which is
I
sort of
see-
interesting because during Mob Wives, they always seemed really, really close.
Yeah.
As viewers, we saw them together a lot, and they shared a lot of stories and, a really long relationship too. So, yeah, that's very interesting in terms of her funeral and everything.
Patrick Keene on YouTube is asking what happened to Mob Candy. I don't know what happened to Mob Candy.
I mean, I think it's still there.
that's
Yeah,
Renee's jewelry, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You could buy the shirt off it. That's what I got it.
Still exists.
Yeah, she has all kinds of stuff, jewelry and makeup and clothes, accessories, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so the website is there.
That's right. What website did you get the shirt
Yes,
from?
mobcandystore.com.
There you go.
And you can easily go there and buy all of your Big Ange t-shirts.
I want that shirt.
Yes, for sure. I mean, it's amazing.
I need it.
Yeah.
All kinds of different colors and cute designs too, so definitely support if you're a fan. I loved it.
I'm getting one.
But yeah, she's probably just not promoting it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe so much this
Maybe
season.
she's getting ready to like revamp it or something. You know,
Yeah,
bring
well,
it back bigger than.
Didn't we open this season with the Mob Candy Mermaid Parade?
Right.
Yeah.
So she threw a little bit in there.
Yeah, when she was here, she shared with us that she was wearing her Mob Candy jewelry and everything surrounded. Drita's more makeup, though.
Yeah.
Drita has all the makeup and stuff like that. So
Yes.
let's talk about Drita. I mean, she was kind of like a centerpiece for this episode. You know, the drama is just spiraling out of control with Drita and Karen. I am just pissed off because we're all feeling for Big Ange, and these crazy women are bantering over things that happened years and years ago and just resurfacing it for what exactly?
Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, ladies, okay, we get it. You both had the same boyfriend. Like, we understand what happened 20 years ago. Let's move forward. But to me, it was like a whole other type of can of worms being opened. Both ladies were just so angry.
Yeah.
It was
like going off, like
Exactly.
bombs exploding, and I was like, chill. I mean, Karen especially in that
Karen.
boutique, like
And who was in her ear?
Brittany.
She
Yeah,
made me mad
I'm not
that
really
this
Team Brittany
episode.
anymore.
Yeah, she definitely
I
made
can
me mad.
see. I can see why these girls get bothered by Brittany because Brittany's not thinking before she speaks, and that's huge
Yeah.
when you enter this group of women.
these
Like,
ladies.
keep your mouth shut and only say something if you know it's like at the right time, even almost. You know.
I feel like she knew in that moment when she said, I just escalated this to a whole other level. She was probably like, okay, I should have thought something,
Right.
you know?
Remember? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Carla brought up a good point. When she was talking to Ange, they were, she was relaying the story of what happened, and she said Brittany should have just cut it before
Exactly.
the word even traveled and said, like, look, you
Who made
guys
that
deal
point
with it.
again?
Drita.
Carla. Yeah, it was a good point. You know,
Totally.
just like
Yeah, because for Brittany,
quit
too.
while you're ahead.
Yes,
Yeah.
totally. And for Brittany to have come through into the group through Karen, I mean, you would think she has some sort of long-term, long-lasting friendship with her, like a deep-rooted sort of connection to her. And she's so quickly just running to Drita and telling all this information. I thought that was really interesting. Because even if you have a new friend in Drita, fine. But do you need to be throwing your other friend under the bus so
It's too much
like so
flip-flopping.
much?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The
It's
flip flop
too
thing
much.
is like a legitimate whatever adjective to describe the way that this happens. But somebody made a point on YouTube, and I was about to make it the same one about the flashbacks. Because remember last week, we were like, I love that flashback. It made so much sense. And then it made you side.
Karen.
Well, yeah, it made you side with Drita, but then this week it made you side with Karen.
And you pointed
So,
that out. You
yeah.
said that it's just the flashbacks that's making us think that. You said
Yes,
that.
I did.
And if I were Karen and that were my friend, I would be pissed.
Yeah, so you're
I
team
would be-
Karen on this.
Yes. No, like, how do I explain it? It's like if I have my group of friends and I bring you, Blake, into it, and all of a sudden you're BFFs with them, and now you're going back talking shit about me. It's like, well, thanks. Like,
Right.
and
you've
you
done
were
nothing.
My friend.
Yeah, and you've done nothing.
And
it
if
doesn't make sense.
And if it was vice versa, I'd be telling you what they're saying about you.
yeah.
My loyalty is to you.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I don't think it makes any sense for her to be like so harsh against Karen, for sure. I mean, I think that even if you're gaining new friends within the group, you still can be friends with everyone. You can still be friends with your original friend, if not more so. Yeah, it's a really interesting scenario, this whole Brittany
Let
edition.
this just be a lesson learned to those out there is do not get involved. That's not your business. If you don't know anything, just keep your mouth shut.
Right. Right.
Then you can't get blamed for anything.
Because you're getting
Like,
you're
it's
even
just-
getting blamed for your opinion.
Yeah.
Like shut up about it because nobody cares. Mind your own business. Like we
You're
don't
not
wanna
there.
hear
You don't know the history of
Yeah.
Lee. Like just mind your business.
It's just too. Yeah, I just don't know how to like express it because I was Team Brittany before, and then this episode was just like
Those
stop
flashbacks,
doing
those too much.
that. Yeah, it's like you want to be, you're trying to people please everybody in this group. You want to be liked by Karen. You want to be liked by Drita. Just be liked by yourself. Like, just love yourself, because this is too much.
Love yourself, girl. Well, another point that Carla brought up, too, in this whole little moment that she spoke was that she's like, I thought we squashed all this when we had the sit down. And I remember making this comment when we saw that episode a few episodes ago, was that it was only the OG women. They did not include the two newbies, but the newbies were the ones causing the trouble, primarily Brittany in this particular scenario. So Carla's like, oh, here's the same old BS coming around again. But it's from one of the new girls that they didn't include in the sit-down.
Well, Drita and Brittany weren't included in the artwork when they were drawing, and I found that pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Now, question. Now, when the production has these events with the girls to film, I mean, are there times where they just say, hey, I cannot make it, my kid is sick, or my kid has a recital, or, you know, things like that, where they just genuinely cannot make it?
I think so.
I think that Drita's just chosen to exclude herself from things.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I really do. She's been really off the last couple of seasons, and things are unraveling for a reason, you know? Yeah. But yeah, Benson, Olivia, and you two made a good point about Brittany just being ultimately a fan before meeting Drita, so it just explains the behavior between the two of them. You know, I feel like going into this, Drita knew that she could kind of twist things around with Brittany, and Brittany probably knew in the back of her mind that she was going to go toward befriending Drita. I just think that it definitely isn't the coolest thing to be flip-flopping when Karen's the one that
Brought you in.
And then Quinita, you made a funny point on YouTube. You said that Brittany's new name needs to be Old Navy because they have an abundance of flip-flops she can purchase, and she lives in them.
Oh, snap.
That's a good one. And then ELHP45 says, Brittany on Twitter said she was forced by producers to tell Karen.
Oh.
I mean, she does lay it all out there. So.
Right. And that's another thing that really we have to consider in this, you know, scenario is that we're taking this at face value, and we're taking it as if these women are choosing to say and do whatever they do.
Right.
But you got to wonder how much producer interaction and kind of stirring
Directing.
up directing and kind of stirring up everything there really is.
Now say you told me, hey, you'll give me an extra 20 grand to go tell like this. Can I tell you before I tell you, like, hey, production told me
do this?
Yeah, exactly. Like, kind of warn you. I mean, how much time?
I don't think so.
I'm kind of thinking back of like,
no, because they're gonna go and tell them something else and then see what happens. Like, make one person think this is the way it's gonna go, and then the other. I'm pretty sure because my girlfriend used to work on a Bravo show, like a Real Housewives show. Not actually, she worked on Mob Wives as well. Holy crap, she's worked on Mob Wives. And she's also worked on a couple of Real Housewives shows in New York. Yes. Hey, Courtney. So she has told me that they do that to them. That they whisper in one ear, whisper in the other, and then just go at it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's so evil.
Yeah.
See, because I
It's
keep thinking about back when The Hills. I don't know if you guys ever The Hills, where Kristen Cavallari
How
came
could we
out.
forget?
I know where Kristen Cavallari came out and
start
said,
of it all.
nobody will admit it, but people would tell me, I will buy you this Louis Vuitton purse if you go start drama with so and so. And then she would start it, but she would never get the purse. So reality TV. I mean, I think we knew.
bribes.
Yeah, I think we knew, but it's like we forget.
Yeah, or even like to a certain extent, maybe how much is acting. Like you said, like who's to say that maybe a producer tells somebody to do this and then they give the other person the heads up and they both just kind of amp it up for kind of shock value and just acting. There's a lot that goes into it, you know?
There's it's like 50-50 for me, with especially with this show, because we see it in the media, like, and you know what media outlet to trust and not to trust. These days, who knows? But I mean, I feel like a lot of the most part of the drama between these women is real.
Yeah.
You know, especially when they lay hands on each other, they're taking risks with that, and that is provoked by the producers. You know, the producers are responsible for the outcome of their relationships, especially at the end of this final season.
Or their personal well-being, if they live or die. No, completely. And, you know, of all of the reality wives shows, Mob Wives always came across as, like, the realist.
Yeah.
You know, just, like, these ladies are not hiding anything. They're laying it all out. I mean, I feel like everyone kind of thought that. I certainly have thought that since the beginning, that this is, like, the legit reality wives show.
Yeah, especially tonight.
And
you could
Jersey
see
Housewives.
it. Especially tonight when both when both ladies, Drita and Karen, were getting so heated, you knew that was real.
Because
and Karen speaking into the
she slipped
camera.
something out too. So and we were all kind of like, wait, did she say this or this? Drita early about someone sleeping around. So
Drita.
We all verified that was Drita. So what was she saying?
She was saying that she got the whole neighborhood arrested.
By sleeping with them?
I don't think it was by sleeping with them. I think maybe she slept with the ones that got arrested. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. But everybody has dirty laundry. It's like, why you gotta go there for? You have kids, you have a family. It's just...
Well, that's exactly what we were talking about before, too, is that, you know, we as viewers, we see what the ladies tell us, and for the most part we're aware of the storyline and what's going on from episode to episode. But every now and then when one of them gets real heated about something, they'll bring up something from the past that we don't know just yet. So this was totally an example of it. Karen got super upset and was pulling back 20 years or whatever, you know, for something that happened, and she's like, oh, you know, all this in the neighborhood, and you did this and you did that, and we were like, what is it tell us.
I could see why Karen got that pissed though, like you said, Paulina, because it's, why are you all of a sudden saying she's like sucking the D of your husband all over again, you know, and like obsessed with your relationship. Like Drita kind of goes over the top and gets real heated. So I thought that Karen's points were good to get that pissed off, and with Drita it was just like curse word after curse word, and that she's just obsessed with her marriage, but there was really nothing more to it that I could believe her, you know?
Yeah.
She didn't really have too many facts to back it up. Drita didn't.
Yeah, but Karen came with all the facts.
Exactly.
We need to know more details about those facts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is there anything about this episode else that you guys want to touch on?
Let's see. I liked when they were playing bocce ball. Little shout out to the old Italian game.
Yeah. Shout out to the game.
That's
bocce
right.
ball. Maybe we should play the game. See how thrilling it is.
There's a lot of games being played up in this.
This is true.
In this group, it's like so much going on. Anyways, I like the bocce ball. For a minute, they took it down. We had a little old school throwback. I thought that was fun. Bocce ball.
I just took notice from that game that Brittany and Drita weren't there. And now this Tres Amigos is becoming Cuatro Amigas with Marissa.
Yes.
Marissa kind of wasn't really in too much of this, though, you know? She's good with, I feel, keeping herself out of the drama. Somebody did say that they were tired of Marissa. I think it was Ange who, like, said, I feel like in the moment she said, Marissa and Brittany just need to, like, get out of the business, you know? But it's like, Marissa hasn't really... The only thing I think Marissa's really done is throw Brittany under the bus a lot and allow Brittany to become even more of the bad girl, or not the victim, right? The villain, yes. The villain with her, like, out of 2 cents.
That's true, because the way we've kind of seen everything develop, it's like Brittany sort of dragged Marissa into this whole scenario.
Yeah.
Like, yes, Marissa called Brittany what she did in the beginning, which really was not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
We've discussed that. But from there, it just snowballed to, like, just craziness. Like, it made no sense. And the ladies even said that throughout the season. Like, it's really not that big a deal. Why is Brittany losing her mind over it?
It kind of seems like Brittany, like, came into this show not to, like, cause drama, but, like, to be in the spotlight, because she's been so far out of the spotlight in terms of her father's situation, which is huge, being 25 years being like Sammy the Bull's best friend. I mean, she does have a story to tell. I think the problem is she dove in hard way too quickly, messed around with a group that she knew going into battle was gonna, like, kind of get her in trouble, but she's getting herself in trouble by not, like, taking a back seat to the drama.
Yeah, I think she should have just played. She should have waited to play her cards. She should have just stayed in the background, kind of just floated around, and then went in. But instead, she was just, no, don't call me a lush, don't do this, don't do that. And it's just so interesting to me that at first I thought Marissa was the bad, the villain. But now it's flipping to everybody's turning on Brittany.
Yep.
So even Drita, it's like, wow, I thought it was Marissa. She played us. She played us all.
Yeah, Brittany did not pick and choose her battles.
Right.
That's for sure. She was going full steam ahead at the first upset.
The names that Karen called Lee, like, I mean, what did you guys think about
She
that?
hit every name in the book, did she not? She was like going down the list. Hilarious.
She was just blah, blah. Every other
So
word
heated.
was bleepy, and I was like, wow,
I
Karen.
know. And I like at the end, she goes, tell her that.
I
Tell her that. Tell her that.
Yeah.
Tell her that.
was walking out the door. Tell her that.
Tell her that.
What do you want me to
Bye,
do
Karen.
again?
Tell her that.
It's crazy to me. I mean, it's dramatic, but it's real, and it's like, how have these two even gotten along the last couple of seasons?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, overall, how could you really form a friendship with somebody who
I could
dated your
never.
husband?
I said this last week.
Yeah.
I'm a psycho ex-girlfriend. Like,
Yeah.
I could never.
No. So the fact that they even rekindled anything is like a miracle to me. I just feel like that's so unlikely. And so the fact that they are really going back and forth is sort of not a surprise because I feel like them being together and friendly is like unnatural anyways.
It just sucks they can't
Just
even
given the
be
history.
cordial.
Yeah.
At least like be in the same room and just hate in the same room. You know what I mean? Like you sit in the same room with
Don't
somebody.
speak, just be in the same room. Yeah, yeah.
Throw shade from a distance.
Alan Ali, shout out to you on YouTube since you asked for it, and thank you everybody for all your comments. It seems like everybody, including us, is Team Karen right now.
Yeah.
You know, poor.
Yeah.
I say
know,
poor
it's-
Drita.
I
Only
got a little bit of Drita in me. A
one
little
quick
bit.
thing, by the way, that blew my mind was in the flashback where we were convinced, okay, it's Drita now. That she said something about the book, and it's almost like, damn, Drita, you copied
Yeah.
Karen on the book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did that flashback.
Yeah, but I'm down with reading both their books.
But people write books.
Yeah.
I might write a book too. So here's my announcement, guys.
Yeah,
It's coming out
Oh,
soon.
now you're now you're a cheerleader and a flip flopper.
Flip flopper.
And a lush.
Yeah, I'll go to Old Navy later.
All right, so we've got to jump into predictions real quick.
Yes.
And predict what's going to happen next week.
AfterBuzz
Aye,
TV
aye.
predictions.
All right.
Yeah, I'll kick it off real quick. It looks like everybody is turning against Brittany. We saw a very quick clip of sort of a little meeting where Brittany was getting yelled out the door, like everyone was just done with her, and
So
it was
Nat
crazy.
G.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I mean, we're talking about how she's sort of flipped in our opinions, and now she's flipped in all the ladies' opinions too. So I'll be interested to see the outcome of her relationship with Karen after that.
I don't think there is going to be a relationship. But I think Carla and Brittany are going to go at it. Because we see them get up and fix their dress. And I think she needs to be confronted.
Yeah.
She's the one that keeps going back
She's
and
just
forth.
young, though. It's kind of sad to see, like, how old are the Mob Wives? In the late 30s, early 40s? I don't know. To be, like, pouncing on a 25. I'm 25, you know? Like a 25-year-old girl. Like,
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I hope they don't punch her. I mean, like,
Yeah, but at
maybe
the same time,
audience does.
we're around the same age. No, we know to keep our place. Like, don't get involved.
yeah,
you know.
that's
Then you want to
true.
be in that situation.
Yeah.
I guess.
I
Listen to
imagine
your mother.
Brittany as like a chihuahua, just like getting in their business, and then they're just like
Acting
no,
way
done
too
with
tough,
that.
for sure. Howard, you got
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah, I just snowball off of Paulina. Exactly. That's it. Karen and Brittany going at it.
Yeah.
There we have it.
Sorry,
I
Carla
do-
and Brittany.
Carla and Brittany. I do predict some kind of brawl between the youngster and the OG next week, being Carla and Brittany. But I also do foresee just us really being touched the rest of the season by Big Ange. I know everybody was kind of confused. This isn't the final episode of this season, so do join us next week as we talk about Mob Wives and, of course, tribute Big Ange all the way through the end of the season. I feel like on our final episode, we're going to really throw it down for Big Ange. We should all dress up like her. Let's do it. All right, guys, where can everyone find you?
You can find me, Howard the Third, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, Howard the Third, and howardthethird.com.
You guys can find me, Paulina Aguilar, at Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar, and on Instagram at Paulina M. Aguilar.
And I am Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media. And from all of us here, big love and condolences to Big Ange's family. We love you, Big Ange.
Yes, we just want to thank Jen Graziano for sharing all the Mob Wives with us, and the whole PR team and everybody at her production team on Mob Wives. We love you, and we are thinking of all of you during this difficult time. You can follow me at Nicole Brajer. Be sure to tune in next week as we follow Big Ange through her journey and the rest of the Mob Wives on the final season. So we'll see you next week, guys.
See you.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.